Hello and welcome to Unfudge Your Marketing. This is a show where I chat with business owners and leaders about marketing missteps, mishaps, mistakes, and things that just haven't gone as planned. But most importantly, we share the lessons learned with all of you, our listeners. I am your host. I'm Kristi Mitchell. I am a marketing strategist, and I work with service-based business owners who have relied on referrals and word of mouth to build their business, and they know in order to grow for the future, they need to finally think more strategically about their marketing. Today, I am so excited to welcome Selena Conmackie and Anna Larson to the show. Once upon a time, two military spouses moved around the world following their active duty soldiers from place to place. Despite thriving and growing professionally, they both felt like something was missing from their world. Then one fateful day in the middle of Texas, Selena met Anna over a fresh-baked batch of pineapple cookies. They realized that their desire to support other entrepreneurs, passion for collaboration, and ability to brainstorm amazing solutions was the start of a friendship that quickly evolved into a one-of-a-kind business partnership. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps as I read this. Meet Selena and Anna, a duo of fun-loving small business owners, digital experts, and strategic smarty pants that offer resources and services to small and medium-sized businesses. With that, I will welcome you ladies to the show.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much for coming on. I am so excited to flip the table here because I came on your show, a couple years ago?
Yeah. Yes.
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. And we were talking about this before we went live. We met on LinkedIn. I think somebody that I know came on your show, and so I saw them post about it, and I was like, I need to know these ladies, and I want to chat with them. So it's 15-ish minute coffee chat, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Did I get the name right?
Yes. And loosely on the ish, guys.
Usually more like
very
30
loose.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I think the longest we ever had actually went over an hour, but we blame our guests for that because they wouldn't stop talking about really cool stuff. I mean, what do you do, right?
It's a good problem to have. I know. It's always so hard for me to end the show at 30 minutes because a lot of times I'm like, all right, we'll just have to do another episode sometime.
So true. So true.
Like I said, I'm super excited to flip things around and invite you ladies on my show today. A lot of times I have business owners on the show who are talking about their own marketing mistakes and mishaps, but I am really excited for this conversation. And I've had a couple similar conversations with business owners who are in another marketing related field and really talking about the things that they see as often or common mistakes or mishaps that their clients make on their own marketing. So I'm really excited to dive into that conversation with you both today.
We are too.
Yeah. We love our clients, but sometimes, you're like, please just listen to us.
And look, I do want to flip the script on that a little bit, right? Sometimes having clients that are difficult or whichever really kind of helps you even be better for the next client. Do you know what I mean? Because there are just things that you did not realize was a thing until that client came into your life.
Yeah.
Yes, that's such a great point. I love that. Yes. And we're not talking about difficult, impossible clients. We're talking about common mistakes that we see clients make.
Thank you.
Because the more we talk about these things, the better off other business owners are who are listening to the show, that they can be like, oh, okay, I need to try and not make that mistake.
Right.
Exactly.
It's all coming from a place of wanting to help others. So you ladies had a few different examples of common things that you see with your clients. So I'm just going to pick one and we're going to start this conversation and I'll let you kind of take it where you want to. So I really, really like the very first idea that we talked about was being afraid to try something new.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Anna.
New is hard.
Yes, it is. It is very hard, right? For clients, because they're stepping out of their comfort zone. Their business is their baby, right? And so one wrong move affects the business. And so sometimes that really paralyzes them. But you also realize that's what's halting them from kind of moving the needle for their business. And so Anna and I, and we also have our own other clients as well. We've just experienced where we're really, really pushing them to say, hey, I promise you, try email marketing. It can work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or put your face on. You're such a great speaker. People will be attracted to the owner, in just your personality, or and they're not convinced. They're thinking just static images of just their product is just enough, right? And maybe it is.
Yeah.
It's just enough, but we want more, right? That's why they hired us.
Yep.
So I'll say that, and in true fashion of a laptop, I'm going to run and grab my charger because my other charger's not working. So Anna's going to finish off this question real fast. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back.
Yeah, I would the only thing what I would add to what Selena said is this is a challenge of trust, right? So when you hire someone to step into your business, which is your baby, then if you haven't, as a marketer, if you have not built up that trust with your client where they trust that you have their best interest in mind, that you truly want to see their business thrive and grow, that's step one for stopping that challenge from happening in the first place. But I also think there's just that innate fear in people of doing something they haven't tried before, especially when it's going to cost them, some money or time or some energy that they maybe don't have so much. So it's just, so it's about building up trust with your client and making sure that they know that you really do want to see them succeed. You're not just throwing things out there like, you know what? I read this in a book. Let's try it.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's such a great point that as, for the business owners listening to this conversation, if you are looking to hire an outside person and they are kind of, maybe putting a little pressure on you to do something that sounds a little scary and intimidating and you don't really want to try it, do you trust the expert that you hired? Because if you trust them, then you should give it a shot and do what they're telling you to do because you paid them for their advice.
Yes.
Yeah. The other thing I would add to this is it's usually not enough to just try it once in marketing, right?
Yes.
It once is not going to be the proof in the pudding almost ever. You have to do it a few times and get your audience used to this new thing you're trying and let them have a chance to respond to it before you say it didn't work or it worked amazing and we're exactly where I wanted to be now,
Yes.
Yeah.
I love this point. We've touched on it in some other episodes as well, but it bears repeating, you have to give marketing time to work.
Yeah.
So I would love to know what you guys say. I usually tell clients when they're like, how long do I need to do this for? I say 3 months. I say most marketing things to give it a quarter, give it a quarter, then give that some time to see what results come from that. What would you guys say to that?
Yeah, I think we totally agree with you because you have to let things marinate. You have to let them kind of kind of just, it has to smell good. It has to feel good. It has to, and I think Anna is you can't rush it. Right. And some people do expect that, but 3 months, I agree. We totally agree with you. I think that's the best kind of first milestone step to reevaluate.
Yeah. And 3 months gives you enough time to also change what you're doing to make sure it does fit well. So you have time to implement it. And then if you see right away, hey, there needs to be an adjustment or something we didn't expect is occurring, then the marketing team has time to make that adjustment to, re-angle whatever the campaign might be. And that's an important part of that trust piece, right? I am watching it. I am monitoring it. I'm making, because we want it to succeed. I mean, we would never have any clients if everything we did fail.
I know. Right? I'm here to ruin your business.
Yes. I think that's such a great point, though. It's not set it and forget it for 3 months. It's let's commit to doing this for 3 months. We're going to pay really close attention to it, see what tweaks we might need to make and adjust, and then see what the results might be. I love that point.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that this actually goes really well into another topic that we wanted to bring up in this conversation, which was thinking that one touch point is enough.
It's never
doing the marketing tactic one time is enough. It's not.
It's about both the marketing tactic one time, but it's also about one platform or one thing, right? So if you're only doing social media on Facebook, right? And you're unwilling to open up that to other platforms, or if you're only doing static graphics, and it's about marketing is it requires like this part of the reason I love it. All right, I'm totally going like crazy here, but part of the reason I love it is because you get to jump from thing to thing and bring it all together and make this beautiful cohesive package of all the different parts and pieces. Because if we look at people as individuals, which is what our clients are, our customers are, they're individuals and they all love different things, even if they might have this one thing in common. They're looking for it in different ways. They're referring to it with different language. They are looking for it in different places. And so if you only limit yourself to that one touch point, that one thing, you are missing a whole world of potential customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to add to that. Sometimes like you think the touch point is also multiple, but sometimes it's like, hey, I put out one email. That's enough. No, put out 7 emails, put out 10 emails, right? You have to constantly just show up. So because the consumers are like inundated with so much other ads and offers and people telling them how to be a better business owner, that you have to show up just as much as they do. Right. So if you do just choose one, don't just show up one post. Don't just show up one email. Right. You have to you have to show up. Like Anna was saying, we have to what is it, Anna? 7 times, right? Before a consumer sometimes makes it.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I thought it was still 7. That's like the magic number.
It's not 7 times you try it. It's 7 times they see what you've tried. And that's a really important part to remember. Because you don't want to make your customers work for it, right? They shouldn't have to go searching through their email to find something for you, because I promise you they're not doing that.
In all their free time.
Maybe your mom. Your mom is doing that.
My mom is, yes. Not even my sisters, just my mother. That's right. The only one.
Sister's too busy. Yeah. Oh my God. I totally relate.
Yeah. So
totally.
Yeah. No.
Such a great point that I just want to pull out here from what we're saying is that you need to be showing up in different places. And I'm a big proponent of don't try and be in all of the places. Like I think a lot of times business owners fall on different ends of that spectrum, trying to be in all of the places and not doing any of them well, or only doing one thing, like maybe being on one social channel and they're like, I don't have time for email marketing, right? That's not good either. So we need to make sure we have like enough things, but not too many things, which can be a challenging balance to find, but finding an expert to help guide you in that path is helpful. And like you said, Anna, just because you show up and post doesn't necessarily mean that everyone in your world is going to see it. And I see this a lot with business owners who err on the side, right? It's a continuum again. You have some business owners on one end who are selling all the time and making us all feel icky about selling. And then you have other business owners who are like, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to send more than one email about this event that I'm hosting because people might unsubscribe and they might, I think I'll only do it once. And that's not good either. Again, we need to find this like happy medium.
Yeah. And some of that comes with the not being afraid to try it, right? You have to test the waters. So if you do it 5 times and half your email list unsubscribe, okay, guess what? Maybe that's too many contacts.
5 was too many.
Yeah. 5 in one day might have been a lot, right?
But at the same time, if you do 5 and only a few people unsubscribe, and they would have unsubscribed regardless of when they saw your email, right? It's okay to like test those waters a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. I just want to add to that real fast. Like, I think the misconception a lot of the business owners have is they think, to the point of like, I don't want to be too pushy. They assume the same person saw their post on Instagram and then will see their same email 5 times. The same person, one time. That person's seen my content 6 times. That's a lot. No, they maybe saw only one of them, right? And so you have to convince them. But and a lot of it is because you're repurposing. So they also think that they have to create brand new content for each piece. And it's like, no, it's really just repurposing and reminding, especially for stuff like that with events. But I do see that a lot where they think that one person is going to see everything, and that's going to cause them to kind of run away. And you're like, no, look, you're competing with a lot of other people. Anyway, that's just my little point I wanted to throw in there.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And it actually reminded me of something that I'll share on my own marketing. So with trying to do more email marketing, because for a long time I just sent one monthly email newsletter, and then if I was doing an event, then I might add on. But I have been more and more using a story-based LinkedIn post that I've written and sending that out, with some tweaks, formatting stuff in my email. And it does make me, I'm over it now, but I know that other business owners struggle with this. Is like, wait, you're posting the same thing on LinkedIn and in an email? Like, what if somebody sees both of those things? It's like, that's okay. Because you know what? That post on LinkedIn did really well and I got a ton of engagement on it. And so if those people see it in their email inbox, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was a really good post.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not going to turn people away. Like, oh my God, you used the same content in two places.
Yeah.
No, in fact, it might encourage them or inspire them to respond to it either via email or go back to your LinkedIn post, right? I think sometimes also we have to remember that our potential customers are moving a million miles per hour just like we are. And something they may not have stopped and taken time to, if they see it a second time, it might be that impetus to say, oh, hey, I didn't read this all the way through exactly, or I didn't get this takeaway that I'm now getting as I read it via email. I think that we are so afraid of offending or hurting our customers in some way. We forget that they're human just like we are. And we know we don't get everything on the first try. We don't see every post the people we follow put out every time. Like, think of it in terms of like how you see socials, how you read emails, how you respond to the brands that you follow and you want to know more about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I saw a really great example of this towards the end of this past year. A tax person that I follow, she kept sharing all these videos on the same topic about like maximizing tax benefits before the end of the year. And it was like every single post had a very similar theme and a lot of repeated information. And my thought was, wow, she is a genius for reminding people of all these things that are really time sensitive and we need to take care of them before January 1 gets here. And I never once thought like, oh gosh, she's saying the same thing over and over again. I thought, she's so smart. This is really helpful.
That was me going, oh yeah, I forgot to put that on my to-do list. It's going on there now. After the 14th time, I've seen that reel.
I do love that. When you get those that reminder again in your email and you're like, oh, I forgot, because my ADHD brain went to do something as I was trying to mark to do that. So I'm really glad that other email came through and reminded me again on the same topic, because I'm not gonna be mad.
Such a great point. We forget. We may have the best of intentions for signing up for that event or taking that advice, and then we get busy. Things happen. We're all people. Remembering that people need multiple touch points, repurposing content, reusing content is all a good thing. We need the information over and over again in order for it to stick in our brains.
Yeah. Yes. Especially if it's the good stuff, right?
Yes.
It's all good stuff, Selena. All of it's good.
Right. I was going to say that.
Come on, guys. Let's be real.
If we're good at marketing and we are sharing helpful, relevant content, it's always good stuff. Audience. Yes. Of course you need to keep putting it out there. Okay, so we are covering a lot of ground in this conversation. So business owners need to remember to try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. Trust your marketing providers. We need to remember to have multiple touch points and not think that just because we do something once, that's enough and everyone's going to see it. Repurposing content, we just touched on, is a great way to have those multiple touch points. Another thing that you ladies mentioned, and I'm really interested to dive into this topic because I'm curious. Obviously, this is something you're experiencing or you have experienced with clients. You said using language that's too unique to your brand. So I am really curious to learn more about this one.
So because there's so many different industries out there, all so unique, all so fun, and we have run across business owners who create a term to come up with what they're doing that means that's very specific to just their brand. It's not being used throughout the industry, but they're very tied to this term. They really love this term. They think it's clever and interesting and fun. And it usually is. It usually is for that industry, but nobody in the industry, it's not a popular term yet. It's something that they've created to try and distinguish themselves from others. And so this is one of those things we actually have run across a number of times with different clients, depending on which industry we're in, whether it be about cars or whether it be about, whatever it is. And so it's helping that client understand that while this is a great term, we have to start thinking about things like SEO and how people are actually searching to find what you're offering. And while this is really fun and there's a place for it on your website maybe, or in those emails you're sending as those really low-hanging fruit touch points, it's not necessarily what we want to advertise on the platforms where we're actually trying to get people to see and search for what you're doing. And that's a really hard concept sometimes for them to understand, because they want to be distinguished. They want to be set apart a little bit. And that term, whatever it might be, whatever they're calling their product or whatever term they're using, is the way they think that's going to happen. And so it's really about educating the business owner about what is search engine optimization, how does it work, and where the appropriate places to put that term are, or how you can incorporate it but still include other terms that are searched and better known until this becomes more of what I would call a popular slang maybe in their industry. So that's kind of what that was about.
Yeah.
I love it. And I don't know if you can tell by me shaking my head. I'm like, oh yeah, I've totally seen this.
Yeah.
I've totally seen it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm not going to have you like out any of your clients. I don't know if you can give a specific example. I can give a specific example. I had a client in the investment wealth management space, and they were very tied to the term fee only because it's a different, I've dove deep in this world because I've had multiple clients in this space, but they really felt like that was a differentiator for them. And that was something really important that they needed to put everywhere, that they are a fee only advisor. And when we really dove into it, it's like, that's not what people are searching. Like it's important for people to understand how you're different from other wealth management options out there who are not fee only based, but to Anna's point, like what are people actually searching and what's important to them, and we created a blog post that was educational in nature to explain the differences, because a lot of people don't understand it.
Right.
But really, really trying to get those decision makers in the business to buy in and understand, like we need to, our marketing, like the marketing content that we're putting out into the world needs to meet people where they're at and not just tell them the things that we think they should know or care about.
100%. I think it's like, what words are you giving the prime real estate to your business? Because if, like Anna said, they're not in that neighborhood, they're not searching for that, and you just gave them the best spot in your business on the top of your website, in all of your emails, and not to say, like, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think you can use it, but just use it in a different way. Don't give it that headliner spot, right?
Well, I think the business owner, they usually come up, and it's almost always the business owner, right? In my experience, it's not like they're number two or they're VA, or they're not coming up with the terms. It's the business owner who says, this is super clever. And it might be really super clever, right? But I think the problem is that it causes more confusion if people don't understand it at first. And so there is an education that has to happen. So yes, let's use this, but let's first call it what it's called in the industry. And then let's say we term it as this, and let's do a whole bunch of educating about that. And then guess what you can start to do? Then you can start to use your term itself and maybe parentheses the term the industry uses. I mean, there's so many different ways you can go about like creating this understanding of what you have. So you don't have to give up on it. We love our clients to be creative like that. We want them to feel excited about the content that they're putting out and how they're referring to things. Because guess what? We also know that no matter if we tell them not to do it or not, they're doing it on their own. When they're talking to their customers or when they're sending an email, they're using that word. So
Yeah.
it's also important for marketers to come in and say, okay, you want to use this? Let's figure out the best way to do that for you so that it makes sense. It should never just be a shot down unless it's like derogatory or something like that. That's different, right?
Offensive.
Right.
Different.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why this analogy just came to mind, but I thought of like when someone tries to go on a diet and they're like, okay, I'm not eating chocolate, like not eating. And then like, you can't just give it up cold turkey. You gotta like have some guidelines and boundaries.
They're sneaking it. They've got like a Reese's M&M thing or something in their pocket that they're pulling out. It's covered in lint, and they're eating it.
So true. They're hiding the little bite-sized bits of candy, right? Just to pull it out and be like, it's not the whole thing, though. It's not the whole thing.
I love that. So don't tell them not to do it. Give them guidelines for how to do it better. I like that. The other thing that came to mind was I saw a copywriter post about this recently on LinkedIn. Clear over clever, like all day long. Like you need to be clear in your marketing copy. That is clever is fun. That's enticing, but we need to be clear first.
Yeah. Definitely. And sometimes those clever uses of words or those, where you mix up a name or something like that, it is clever, but it's not clear. And you're confusing your audience at that point. They're like, wait, because when you said fee only, do you know what I thought? I was like, fee only? Does that mean like things?
Doesn't it sound bad?
And I didn't know what that meant. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's something in the independent RIA space that they see as a positive because it's handled differently than when you're a wealth manager affiliated with, one of those big investment companies where it's not fee only. It's like they take a percentage kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, yes. And that was what we were trying to help the business owners see is like, you're seeing this as a positive, but actually like other people who don't understand what it means, it probably looks bad to them.
Yes.
Because you have to start to think about like, what does the word fee mean? And that incites, I have to pay you where, you know what I'm saying? Where when that's the very first initial feeling, now suddenly you're like, I don't know if I should do this anymore. As opposed to feeling inspired to move that direction. Because words really are about evoking that emotion, those feelings in your customers. That's why they want to move forward or they want to learn more. So look at that. Look, you see, you threw something in there, Kristi, I wasn't even thinking about now.
Anna's going to be talking about fee all day long. And people are like, I don't understand. I know. She's like, I'm telling you.
Provoking Selena. What emotion is this?
I love it. Okay, ladies, I knew our time was going to fly by today. We are already coming up on it. If there is one last kind of like lesson that you want to leave our listeners with when it comes to common marketing mistakes that you see with your clients, what advice or lesson do you want to leave them with?
For me, I'll just say mine. Don't give up. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's hard and sometimes you think you may have failed, but don't give up. Like keep trying and you're gonna hit the nail on the whatever. You'll get it. And be open.
Love it.
And for me, I would probably say have fun with it. Right? Like marketing should not be drudgery work. Marketing is about connecting with your audience and feeling excited about what you have to share. So if you're not feeling that, it's not happening the way it should. Like you should be excited about the things that you're doing and what you're saying and what you're providing. Yeah. So that would be my advice to people listening.
Love it. 1,000%. I support both of you and what you're leaving our audience with. Love those takeaways for sure. So very last thing, how can people learn more about you ladies and how you work with clients? How can they connect?
Yeah. So Anna and I love to be on LinkedIn. So you can find us on LinkedIn first and foremost, but you can also find us at our website, annaandselena.com. When we were thinking like, yeah, we very, very just clear, very clear. When we were like, what should we name our business? And we're like, let's just name it Anna and Selena. That's how everybody tells and refers us. They're like, oh, you need to connect with Anna and Selena.
Yeah.
Love it.
We would never use a business name. It's always us anyway. So there we go.
It's perfect. I love it. Just hammer home that point. We got to be clear.
Yeah.
Clear and simple works. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies, so much for your time and coming on the show today. I appreciate you sharing your experiences, your expertise, and these common mistakes that you see with your clients.
Thank you for having us, Kristi. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, we'll definitely need to do it again sometime soon.
Yes, 100%.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.